All right. Not sure if my stream is going yet. Looks like it is. This is my very first live stream, y'all. So I've just gotten to where I've worked out everything with the audio, the streams, got my thumbnail set up, all of that good stuff. So very first live stream ever. As far as live mixing goes, I've gone live on like Instagram and stuff like that from my phone, but this is my first time live streaming from my computer. So it's going to be a new experience for me. Hopefully I can get everything right. Today I'm going to be mixing a song from start to finish, like I haven't even created the project or anything in my DAW. So you're going to get to see kind of all of that just from start to finish. So what I can tell you just starting out from where we are so far is that I produced the song, I produced the beat. The client, his name is Sabine. He's one of my Nepali clients, and so this is a Nepali song. Essentially, the way that this project worked out is that he wrote a song and he kind of recorded it on his phone. Like he just pulled up like voice note recorder, and he gets his guitar and he sings the song from start to finish essentially, and then he sends that to me as the demo, and then from there I produce all of the music, get it back to him, make sure it's all good, and then once everything's cool, then we go ahead and we record vocals. So then we do the studio stuff and record vocals. So where we are right now is that he has come to the studio session and we recorded the vocals. I think that there's been a bit of a difference in the way that he recorded the song when he sent it to me as a sample versus how he recorded it when we went to the studio. So there may end up being like a follow-up session where we go back to the studio and record some more vocals. And that's just kind of how it is sometimes. Usually the first run of recording vocals, when you're producing a song from scratch in any case, is that you're going to kind of record it one time, then you're going to want to change some things or try to nail some parts a little bit better. And so then we end up having like a second session. So that may end up happening, and that's just part of the process. So today what we're going to go ahead and do though is we're going to start from the top with what I've got so far. I haven't created the project yet. I haven't uploaded the files, anything. You're going to kind of get to see everything. So even if there's problems or anything like that, you're kind of going to get to see that process and how it all folds out. So we'll see where we get on it today. And if we end up getting stuck somewhere, excuse me, a little bit tired. If we end up getting stuck somewhere or have to come to a stopping point, then we'll go ahead and stop right there, and then we'll pick it back up at a later time when we either get more vocals recorded or when we do some edits, whatever it is. I'll try to live stream everything for this project. So again, this is a project that I produced. So I do have all of the rights to share the song and whatnot, things of that nature. It's one of my own productions. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different view, and we're going to get started. I will be using Cakewalk by BandLab. That's the DAW that I use. I've been using it ever since it used to be Sonar. So Cakewalk, BandLab actually owns Cakewalk now. The software is called Cakewalk. But this same exact software back in the day used to be called Sonar, and it was owned by a company that was called Cakewalk. And Cakewalk essentially went out of business, and they sold the licensing of this software to actually Gibson. Ended up buying the software, and then Gibson ended up kind of going bankrupt and whatever, and so now BandLab owns the license to this software, and so now they call the software Cakewalk, I guess as a homage to the original company that developed this software. So Cakewalk is the name of the current software, but that's also the name of the company that initially designed this software, and at that time it was called Sonar. but I've used Sonar for years. Sometimes I still end up calling it Sonar. And one of the studios that I used to work at back in the day, which was a very popular studio, they also used Sonar too. And so that was one of the reasons I ended up working at that studio, is because I'd already been working with Sonar for years. And I had a client who had been recording at that studio who had some problems with their projects. And just by chance, we were using the same software, Sonar. So I ended up just going to work at that studio for a couple of years, and I'm still using that same software to this day. And I believe they're still using the same software to this day. And of course, Pro Tools is a good software too, but there's a lot of hype in there. Their marketing is really good to where they make people think that like Pro Tools is the standard, and it's definitely not. All of the DAWs essentially can do the same things. It's about if you know how to use the software or not, and all of the functions. So since I've been using Sonar for years and years and years, I'm extremely fast with it. I've already got like good templates set up and whatnot, and I'm one of the producers in Dallas that stays busy and does a lot of work. Most people never even ask what software I use. They've heard about me from somebody else and they book a session, or they've heard about me from somebody else and they send me stuff to mix. Very seldom does somebody ask me, well, what software do you use? And usually the second somebody asks me that, I already know, like, okay, this is somebody who's probably like heard about Pro Tools, and they think that, oh, if you don't use Pro Tools, you're not a professional. And usually that already tells me I'm dealing with somebody who is not very educated in the music production field, because if you've fallen for that hype in that marketing, then you really don't know anything about producing, because the software literally is the least of your worries. The biggest thing for your quality is going to be the microphone that you use, quality cables that don't pick up any outside static or outside noise, good quality mic pre's. Your interface is going to be very important, but most interfaces these days have high quality ADDA converters. In fact, even the cheapest audio interfaces out today have better ADDA converters than the original Pro Tools when Pro Tools first came out back in the day, late 80s, early 90s. And I've been recording even since then. So I can tell you, software does not matter. Your hardware does matter a bit, but as long as you've got a good quality microphone, preamps that don't make any noise, cables that don't pick up any noise, then you're pretty much going to be good to go. At that point, it's going to be a matter of knowledge, and if you know how to mix or not, and if you know how to use tools like compressors. Like, people don't even know how to use compressors. People, there's a lot of hobbyists that will pull up a compressor and they go through the presets and they choose a preset that they like the way it sounds or something like that, and they have no idea what an attack time is, a release time, the ratio, the knee. They don't know what any of that stuff actually is doing to the audio, as to where a professional like myself or other music production professionals, we know how to use those tools actually to go for the sound that we're looking for, as opposed to choosing one from a preset. So if I hear something raw, in my head, I can already kind of hear how it's supposed to sound, and I know what knobs to turn to make that happen without using presets. So we're going to drink a little beer today. We're going to start mixing on this project. We're going to see how far we can get. There's going to be a lot of selection between clips as well. So what we did at the recording session is we basically, I had the client just record the song start to finish 5 times through. So I'm going to have 5 full takes. And then we also went and touched up like the last parts of each line where you hold a note out, stuff like that. And I had him redo some of that stuff. So we've got some audio to choose from. Again, it may still result in a follow-up recording session to do more fine-tuning with that, and that's just a common thing, right? So it happens. So if that does happen today, then that's just how it is, and we just keep moving forward from there. So that being said, you never know how far you are going to get with the first mix session. And we're just going to go as far as we can with what we've got and see where we get. And if everything works out, we could end up with a complete project today. So my time right now, it's 6:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I've started this live right about 6:30. A little bit before 6:30 because I was wanting to make sure that the stream is working correctly. It appears that it is. Again, it's my first stream, so it might not be working at all right now, and I would have no clue. But I'm going to assume that it is working because it does show me a stream time on OBS. Seems like it's working to me. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let me switch views here, and we're going to go ahead and pull up Cakewalk. So I did have a project going just as a test, just to make sure that everything would work out with the audio and whatnot. But we're going to close that, and we're going to go ahead and just start brand new from this project now. And hopefully everything works. Like I said, this is my first time ever streaming a live mix. So let's get to it. So this song, the title of it, I know this is 87 beats per minute. I'm going to go ahead and set that. The client is Sabine at Hikari. He's a Nepali person. So his name is Nepali. The song title, I think that he's changed it from how he had the file named when he sent it to me, but I'm still just going to call it whatever he sent it when he sent it to me, which was South Cooper Street. And if he wants to change the official title when we release the song and put it online for streaming and stuff like that, then we just change the file name at that time. But at this point, the title doesn't matter too much. Excuse me. All right, so let's rock and roll. Opening up new project right now. I did also recently install a new hard drive, and so because of that, a lot of my the locations of files and settings ended up getting moved around. So I'm hoping that everything still works properly. This is also going to be my first time mixing something since installing my new hard drive. So we're going to hope that it all works out. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, now again, this is a project that I produced. So I do have all of the track outs for the beat, as well as I've got all of the voice. So all of these you can see like in groups here. These are all groups that I have set up for vocals. And then this one, a lot of times when people come to the studio, they just have kind of a beat already made, like either a WAV file or an MP3 or something like that. And so I usually only need one track for the beat. But when I'm mixing a project where I do have the stems, the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is just take this channel and I'm just going to duplicate it like 20 times just to have a whole bunch of these available. And now from there, I'm going to go ahead and import the actual the stems for the beat, which let me locate those. It's going to be Major Media Studios. I'm not sure if I put them here in their proper place, because sometimes I don't. We're going to hope that it's already tracked out here somewhere though. And maybe it's not. Okay, so potentially I don't have the track outs already tracked out from the project, so you may get to see me do that as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to open Reason, which is the program that I use generally to make the beats. And probably the locations of these files has changed as well. So hopefully I'll be able to pretty quickly find the project, or maybe it's just going to automatically when I hit open. Nope, not there anymore. Okay, so let's do File, Open. All right, so this is the basic track. So we'll go ahead and we will say export or bounce mixer channels. We're going to want to select all of them, but then down here we can get rid of these. We don't need these. I will keep the master section just because it makes it easier to line everything up. I'm going to say song start to finish, or we could say loop. I usually do just loop left to right because I always set my loop points on the project. Bounce to, we're going to say audio files on disk. Apply mixer settings, we're going to say none, and we're going to say normalize. I don't want any of the effects that I used while making the beat. I don't want any of those actually on the files when I track it out, because I'm going to do all that in the mix. So I don't want those already kind of pre-applied to the audio. I don't want anything applied to the audio as much as possible. So we'll do no mixer settings. You know what, actually too, let me just go to each one of these and just make sure that I don't have any other effects that I don't want on there. All of these, we're going to bypass any kind of reverbs or anything. Oh, don't know if you could hear my stomach growling, but my stomach's growling. I haven't eaten yet today. Okay, so I think those were the only effects that I had on. There was a couple of reverbs, and I tend to do that just because sometimes I just don't like to hear everything dry. So let's go ahead and even though I don't do like a full-on reverb, I'll just throw or a full-on mix, I'll throw a reverb on it or something like that. Okay, so let's do again. We're going to do bounce mixer channels. We're going to check all. We're going to do loop, and we're going to do none and normalize. Wave file 44.1 16-bit depth. We're going to do dither, and we're going to go OK. It's going to ask us where do we want to do it. We're going to do nope, not that. We're going to do the 8 terabyte. Oh, it's already choosing some kind of location, but I don't think it's the correct location. Major Media Studios, Beats for Sale, track outs, and we're going to call this 2025 0316 Sabine Ad Hikari South Cooper Street, and we'll hit OK. Alright, so it's going to take just a second to do that. It's going to render those down. Perfect time to take a sip of beer. Normalizing. My stomach is growling again. Yeah, I guess I should have ate something before I started. Okay, so it looks like it's done rendering down those files. So now I'm going to go ahead and back in Cakewalk, I'm going to go back to Beats for Sale, and there should be a folder here that says Trackouts, sort it by date, and it should be at the top. Yep, here it is. Okay, so we'll grab all of these. When I import audio, you don't see me go to any menus. That's just because I have a hotkey set up. I just hit I on my keyboard for import, and then it asks me what files I want to import. There's more audio channels than I thought. That was exactly 21. Wow. Okay, well, so I'm going to need some more channels now, because I'm still going to need to now import the files from the recording session where we got his vocals. So I'm going to actually duplicate more tracks here. I'm just going to make another like 15 or something. I don't think it was more than that. And let's do import again. I believe I've got these on the desktop in a folder called, yep, Trackouts from Young Red Studio. Shout out to my guy, Young Red Productions. We actually went to his studio over at his house. Actually, he's got a really nice shed set up in his backyard. So it's a separate building out in his backyard, and we cut vocals over there for this project. All right, so let's hit open. Hopefully these are all spaced properly how they're supposed to be. We'll know soon enough. Okay, so if these have some blank spots in the front, then I know that we're good to go, because then it lets me know that these are where they're supposed to be location-wise. So that looks like that's all of the files that we'll need. So I've got an extra track here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one, delete that track. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is organize everything. So I'm going to start on track 1. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so that I can read the titles on the files. And then I'm going to just name all of my tracks, everything. So the Ampeg flip top, I'm not going to call it that. I'm just going to call it bass, because that's what that is. Audio track 2 copy, I don't know what that is. It might even be empty. So when I zoom out, I can see the whole thing, and it doesn't look like there's actually anything on that. So this one is just an empty track. I'm going to delete it. This one also looks like it's an empty track. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete all the empty tracks real quick. Let me just kind of zoom all of them real big so I can see if they're empty or not. All 3 of these are empty. Delete. Here's another empty one. We'll delete that. See, these ones where the audio starts at the beginning, these are worrying me. I don't know if these are actually where they're supposed to be or not. Because there shouldn't be a whole bunch that just start at the start like that. I think like maybe this is supposed to be like over here or something like that, and maybe they didn't get exported where they're supposed to be. So that does worry me. But then see, like this one, it's got the blank spot in front of it, and it is where it's supposed to be. So I guess we're going to find out. Okay, but so now that I've got everything supposedly lined up, and I've got the tempo set to the same tempo as the actual project, which is 87 beats per minute. Usually the first thing that I go ahead and do, I'm going to grab everything and I'm going to move it 1 bar forward. I'm going to make sure that my grid is set to move by 2, because you can move by also. You can either move to a measure or by a measure. So I'm going to move to the measure, all of them. And then now I'm going to say move to marker, and I'm just going to get one of them and Well, actually, I can probably grab all of them, and I'm gonna just move them to this little marker at the front here. And what that does is it gives you just like a moment of silence before, like when you press play, it'll give you just a moment of silence before the first note hits. That way you don't have a really abrupt start or anything like that. And again, now since I got rid of all my empty tracks, I'm gonna get back to naming everything. I still need to name everything. So this one, concert grand piano, I'm just gonna say piano. Piano. This one is crash cymbal. This one is hi-hats. This is the kick. This one is master section. This one is ride cymbal. This says rim shot. This one is slow string chorale. This one says choir, which is just a sample, it's not an actual choir. This is the snare. This one is Vox. Tambourine. Tambourine 2. Okay, so now these are the guitar parts. Guitar, mic 1, guitar, mic. This is 3. Oh, I see what's happened here. So probably he grouped the mic'd guitars and the guitar line in. So generally when I record acoustic guitar, I'm going to have it plugged in if it's electric, and I'm going to have it microphoned, and I'm going to record both of those sources at the same time. Generally, when you have it plugged in, the signal that you get from that, it's a little bit fuller and a little bit more bassy, but it usually lacks like the clarity at the top end, as to where a microphone generally sounds a little bit thinner. It's got more clarity on the top end, and it might not be as bassy. So usually I record both of those sources when I'm recording acoustic guitar, which I did record acoustic for this as well. So for each take, and I'm going to have a center, left, and a right, but so for each of those I'm going to have a microphone and a line, a microphone and a line, and a microphone and a line. So there's going to be 6 guitar tracks altogether. And just by the way that these are ordered, I think maybe he might have grouped them by type, by either microphone or by line in. So let's say guitar plug, guitar plug 1. So all of these, it looks like he named them like verse 2, verse 3, verse 1. When the project is finished, it's just going to sound like one voice. So I'm not actually going to be using these as separate pieces like that. I'm just going to go through them all and find the best sounding takes, and then they're all going to get moved to a master channel, or a master vocal channel. And then that one vocal channel is what will be used for the final product. I guess for this process, maybe I should switch up my OBS view to where you can see just the edit screen. Maybe I can move my OBS over here. Thank you guys for bearing with me again. This is my very first live stream. So still getting a little experience in with all of that. All right, so there we go. So now you can see my edit screen better, at least, as opposed to showing all 4 sections. So let's keep naming these files. This one says verse 3 also. Oh, I see. This one says verse 3 punch. This one says verse 4. No verse 4 though, actually. Verse 5. Or I think he's just naming them by the take that we did, which maybe makes more sense. And last one here says verse punch also. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There's a function on Cakewalk where you can zoom in the waveforms just so you can see them better. It doesn't change volume or anything like that. It just, like, if I want to see this one bigger, I can like zoom in or out on it just like that, just so you can see it bigger. Again, this doesn't affect the volume or anything like that. It's just a zoom on the waveform itself so you can see what you got. So some of the smaller ones, I do end up zooming them in a bit just so I can see kind of what I've got there. But if I can see them pretty good, then I'm good to go. And I'm just zooming them in now just so you can kind of see that function. But okay, so we've got everything labeled here. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to group everything. So the stream is already in about 30 minutes right now, a little bit more than 30 minutes. I started off talking a bit, but we're maybe just about 10 minutes into, maybe 20 minutes into doing work. And all we've gotten so far is we've got the files imported and we've got them labeled. So now the next thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to group everything. So usually the way that I like to organize stuff is I like to have the drums be the first thing. So if I move over here to show you my mix screen, generally on my mix screen, what I like to do is I like to have all the drums on the left side, and then I get into instruments and then vocals. So drums, instruments, vocals is the way that I like to line it up. And then besides that is I like to have the bassier stuff on the left and then the less bassy stuff towards the right. So the very first channel that I usually have over here is going to be the bass itself, and then I'll have the kick drum, then the snare, and then hi-hats and cymbals and whatnot, and then I'll get into instruments and it'll be like pianos, violins, stuff like that. So it's grouped first by the percussive stuff, and I include the bass as a percussive instrument, but really it's just because it's the bass, so it's going to be the furthest to the left for me. And then left to right in groups, bassiest to less bassy, and then instruments is going to be bassy to less bassy. And then vocals, I just do it by, if I scroll over here, you'll see my templates. So the first 2 groups here, I generally have like for hook vocals. In this case, it's going to just be one vocal track all the way through, so I'm probably not going to use any of these. These are just part of my standard template when I open up a project or create a project. Because a lot of times when people are coming to record, so see, usually I'm not doing mixes like this. Usually people are coming to record and they've already just got like a MP3 of a beat or a WAV file of a beat, and I don't even end up mixing the beat because they don't have stems for it. It's just like an MP3 or a WAV file, and we're just recording vocals. So I have different channels set up, and I have them like on the hook, I'll have them do a center, a left, and a right. And they might also do like some highlights left and right on the hook. So there's like a few more channels for the hook groups than there are for the main vocal groups. But for the main vocal groups, it's going to be a center. Then I have a center stack in case they want to do just a stack, or they can do a left and right highlights. And then I have an ad-lib track. And whatever one it is that they're wanting to record next, then that's what we do. Like, all right, you're going to cut your verse now? Boom, it's going to be this channel, and I'll arm that to record. And then it's like, you going to do highlights, or do you want to do a stack? They're like, let me stack it. I'm like, okay, boom, there's your stack. We're going to record onto there. And then they want to do highlights. I usually try to talk them into doing left and right for the highlights. So I have one left, one right, and we'll record the first one, and then we'll record the right side, and then we'll do ad libs, right? So I've already got these groups just set up here. But in this case, we're not going to really use all of these. There's just going to be the main channel of audio, so it's all going to end up going into this channel here, which is currently channel 44. But first, let's go ahead and get all of this stuff organized. Once I do have everything organized, I'm going to color code it. And actually, I may color code it on the front end. So let's just like multi-select this. So if I hold the control button, I can multi-select other stuff, you see? And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab everything that's going to be like a drum sound. There's the rim shot. These are strings, choir, snare, vox, tambourine, and guitar. So then these are all the files that we got from Young Red. So all of these, now if I move them once, they'll all kind of group together. They'll move together, and now I'm going to change all of these to red. So now I've got my percussions grouped by red. All of these, I'm going to send the output straight to the master, the mixdown channel. And then all of the instruments are going to go to the channel that says beat right here. So all of these, over here on this side, you see there's this divider line here. This is the master channel. This is the final mixdown channel. And then all of these are subgroups that feed into the master channel. So all the drums are going to go straight into the mixdown channel. All the instruments are going to go into this channel, which feeds into the mixdown. So I can turn it up or down as a group. And then for each one of the vocal groups that I have, the yellow group goes into the yellow group, the orange group goes into the orange group, and then so you see how that works, and they all feed into that. And then I've also got my bus for my reverb and a bus for delay separately. And all of my templates are already set up to where all of the vocal channels already feed into the reverb and the delay bus, and I can adjust how much they feed in here if I want a contrast between one channel versus the other, and also I can turn up or down the feed here. This last channel I just used for a metronome. The metronome feeds directly into this channel, so we can hear a metronome. I'll just have to unmute it if we want to hear it in the metronome. Essentially, the metronome is always on, but I usually just have it muted. Okay, so next step, let's get all of the instruments together. So here's piano, strings, choir, vox, which is a sample as well, guitar, mic, guitar, and then punch and verse. So then all of these are his vocals. So here's all of the instruments. Again, I'm going to just move it once, and they should all group together. Oop. There we go. And I'm going to color code these all green. All right, now I've kind of got it all grouped together, but now the next thing is that I want to put these guitar parts together with themselves. So you can see like this one and this one are the same length. Probably these two are together. We'll move that to the top. And it looks like we're missing one more guitar part. I think we might be missing one guitar part. These master section ones, I'll just move them all the way up to the very top and I'll just mute them out. All right, so for the very first time, we're going to press play on something. Oh, and I believe I've got to, for you to hear the sound, I need to install another plugin real quick here. And we'll make sure that it works after I do that. Yep, so you're getting sound. Okay, so there is one guitar part there. I think maybe these two are the same as well. Oh, actually, so I think these two, because this one says mic 1, this one says plug 1, mic 1. Yeah, mic 3, plug 3, mic 1, plug 1. And then this one just says plug, but we're missing the guitar that just says mic. So we are missing one file. So I am going to end up reaching back out to Young Red on that and see if he can export that last file. Real quick though, I am going to just duplicate one more track here. And I'm going to go to the files that I have from him. Let's see. So we're missing guitar plug. So the one I'm missing is the one that should say guitar mic without a 1 or 3 behind it. It should just say guitar mic. So I am going to just hopefully, I'm going to go back to import. I'm going to go to the folder that I got from him. Oh, look, yeah, I do have it here. So maybe for some reason or another, it just didn't come in with the rest of everything. Or maybe I deleted it by accident when I was first importing everything. So we do have everything now. So guitar, there's plug, and then mic. Okay, cool. So then let's mark this one as green as well. Plug, mic, boom. Okay, so we've got everything. So now what's going to end up happening is for these guitar parts, you can see that they're not as long as the rest of the song here, right? The chords, the chord progression, it just repeats for the whole duration of the song. So I don't really, I forgot to change you back to the edit screen. I apologize for that. So I was just pointing at some stuff for you and you didn't even see what I was doing over there. But the chord progression, it's the same chords throughout the entire song. So I don't really need to play the guitar the full way through the song to have it. I just need to have one good set for each side, and then I just loop those, right? So for each one of these, I just played until I felt like I had one good run, and then I should be good, right? So from each of these, I'm just going to take those samples and then I'll just loop them all the way through the entire song. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. I will put you on. That's not what I was trying to do. Sorry, guys. Trying to get it worked out for you. All right, so just going to take a quick restroom break, and we'll be right back in just about a minute. All right, we are back. So at this point now, I can start hitting the play button and seeing what I've got. I know that from the sample that he recorded on his phone, just using the voice note app, from that sample that he gave me to what we recorded in the studio the other day at our session, I think that he sang it a little bit different, and he didn't include some parts that he did at the end on the sample he didn't do in the studio. So there's going to be some differences, and as we go along, I'm going to be listening to the sample that he sent me and comparing it against what I've got from the studio, just to make sure that everything lines up and that the song is in the same format as the way that we recorded it, or as the way that he sent it to me as a sample. So now that we've got kind of all of this pretty much organized, I'm going to go ahead and start playing some of this stuff. Okay, so the audio was normalized, so everything is all essentially the same volume right now. There's no mixing at this point at all. And you can probably kind of hear that. There's stuff that maybe seems way too loud, other stuff that's not loud enough. The vocal, you couldn't hear it at all. You could kind of tell that there was a vocal there, but it was way in the background. And so now this is where the magic is going to kind of start a little bit, maybe not yet. So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do now, since it sounds like everything is there, this is my main vocal channel. I'm going to bring it up here above these other groups that I'm not going to be using. And because I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vocal channels that I've got to sort through, I'm going to duplicate this 7 more times so that they're all essentially the same. And I'm going to drop these vocal files into those channels. So I'm going to move by measure just so they all keep their place. Boom. Now they're all in a vocal channel that already kind of has compressors and limiters and some stuff like that. Now I'm still going to end up fine tuning all of that stuff. I'm not going to use it just the way that it falls into my template. I am still going to adjust all of those. But just for the sake of ease, they're going to at least have most of the plugins that I already use anyway. So now I can delete these empty tracks. And now if we choose one of these, okay, and so now I'm seeing the way that he's got these set up. So I believe this maybe was the very first one that we recorded. Maybe 2 was the next one. 3, 1, verse 4, verse 5. Okay, and this was 3 punch. So on the third take that we did, he started back over from here. If I was in the session, I would have just deleted that second part and just done like that. But he went ahead and, like a good engineer, he just kept it there just for me to listen to, make sure there's nothing there that I don't want to use. So we still will listen to that and see if there's anything good in here. Although when we were at the session, I probably would have just deleted it because I didn't think that there was anything usable there anyway. Even the client, like I said, you know, when we got this far, he stopped and he's like, "Let me do that second part again," and that's why we did the second part again through to the end. So I'll still check it out. I'll still listen to it, see if there's anything good. And then this is number 4, and then this is number 5, and then these are the punch-ins where we just did like the last part of each line. So you can see there's the end. So there's the silent spot here, right? And so these lines are ending here, but usually with the ends, I want to hold the notes out. So after we did all the takes, then I had him redo the last lines here. And so this one kind of is going to be replacing those. This one's going to be replacing those. And this one will be replacing the end there. So I know that I don't need that. I don't need that. And I can put these all on the same channel. So right now we're just kind of working out that stuff. So I want to go ahead and see if this section here, like I said, he ended up re-recording that second half here. I'm going to just listen to this because I don't believe that I'm going to end up using anything from this piece here anyway. But I do want to go ahead and just listen to that. So I'm going to mute all of these other vocal channel parts out, and I just want to hear this. Since that just happened, I'm thinking maybe I should be recording also and not just streaming. Yeah, because it's just telling me the stream is starting and stopping and starting and stopping. Okay, so now I've got OBS recording as well as streaming. I don't know if it's an internet issue or what the deal is, but my OBS is just saying reconnecting, disconnected, reconnecting, connection successful. Then it disconnects again. My stream says offline. So I've got recording going now. So maybe I'm going to call this part 2. And I'll just upload it since the streaming doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the stream. I've got the recording still going so I can upload this later. It says stopping stream. I don't know if maybe there's a limit to how long you can stream. I don't think there is, because I see some streams that go on just permanently. They just have like a permanent live stream going. So if anything, it's more likely that it's like an internet issue here. Unfortunately, where I live, the internet is not super great. So that may be the issue. I really don't know how to tell. I'm gonna see if I can start to stream again. Yep, sorry for the hiccup, guys. I just want to make sure that I've got some streaming going. Well, I'm recording at least now, too. I don't know if there's any kind of like a time limit on recording as well. This is my very first time trying to stream, guys, so thanks for dealing with me. Even though I'm just talking to a recording now, there's nobody watching a stream now. You're probably going to see this video later after I upload it. So I'm apologizing to you watching the video right now. It says creating a new live broadcast, please wait. So I'm waiting patiently. Maybe waiting a little impatiently, but pretty patient. Fairly patient. Broadcast creation error. Please see the log file for more information. Okay, so maybe we're just not going to be able to keep streaming. I know the stream did go on for about an hour. I don't know if there's any reason why it would cut you off after an hour. But in any event, I am recording now. So I'm just going to keep on working. Maybe I'll try one more time to get the stream going. Because my internet hasn't told me if there's been like any kind of a cut in the service or anything like that. Like my internet is still connected, is what I'm saying. So theoretically I should still be able to stream. Oh, looks like the stream is back. So it looks like that worked out. Looks like the stream is back. I just wish I could, I wish I knew how to go to see my own stream though, to see if it's actually streaming properly. Unfortunately, I'm so new to this that I just don't know how. Let's see if I just go to YouTube, and then if I go to Anthony King Recordings. Okay, so there's my channel. Well, here it says upcoming. Yeah, that doesn't look like a live stream. In fact, that's the old studio that I used to work at that I was telling you guys about. Maybe, oh, this says live now. So it looks like that worked out. Looks like the stream is back. Cool. Okay, my stream is back. I just wish I could, like a little bit of a delay. I knew how to, like a 20-second delay or something, which I think stream though, which I believe, I did see something about a 20-second delay on the settings, but I believe that we're back in business. I believe that the stream is going. So we're going to continue on to see if it's actually streaming properly. This though, from that one, and I can maybe see who's viewing me, if anything at all, or if there's any chats, which I don't believe there's going to be any chats. I mean, it's my very first time streaming, so you know, it is going to be what it is. I wonder if I could maybe share to like Instagram or Facebook or something. Oh yeah, let's do share, and we'll do guess we'll share it to Facebook. And this is to, of course, it's going to be to my personal account. Disconnected again. So the stream is disconnected. So we're not even going to try. We're going to not worry about streaming. Because clearly the stream is not working out very well. Well, it seems like it's going again. I don't know, guys. I don't want to get too caught up in all of this right now. In fact, on the video, now that I'm recording, I'm probably going to just edit all of this out. So I'm just going to keep going. I am going to keep the stream active, assuming that it's going to work. But I'm not going to keep messing with the stream. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm just going to keep going with mixing. Okay, so as I was saying, the client redid this second part. I'm just going to use that and get rid of this now. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to these guitar parts, and I'm going to find a measure that I like, and I'm going to use it. And generally what I do when I'm recording a guitar part is if I do a set, a progression that I think sounded good when I did it, I go ahead and I end it at that point. So these last bars should be the good ones. So I'm going to go ahead and check that out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am going to turn on the metronome while I do this part because I want to make sure that these are pretty good on time. And you can see my timing was pretty good, maybe started just a tad bit late on those. I can time correct that though. Yeah, so those will work. So at measure 27, I'm going to put a marker right there. I'm going to cut these, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut here, and I'm not even going to listen to the rest of these because if I didn't end it on those ones when I was doing it, I know that I didn't like. I know that I didn't like them. So here is my ending. And these are going to be my loop for these ones. Make sure I started at the right spot. Going to duplicate those. Okay, so those should be good. Let's do these next ones. Probably here's my end. Yep, so that's going to be my end. And from that point, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars back should be my good ones. Yep, sounds good to me. So we'll use that. Going to duplicate those as well. And then we'll do the same thing for these last ones. I can already tell that that's probably going to be my end right there. Just by looking at it. From there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars backwards. And I bet those are going to be my good ones because I wouldn't have made the end happen there if they weren't. So I'm kind of just going to trust myself on those ones, but I'll still listen to verify. All right, so we're going to just slightly change the colors on these ones. And we'll call this guitar. Well, we'll still see mic, and we'll stay center. Guitar plug center. Guitar mic left. Guitar plug left. Oh, I didn't rename this one. That's what happened there. Okay, so then we'll call this one guitar plug right. Call this guitar mic right. And we'll put the oops, I didn't mean to zoom in on that. So center, we're going to make a little bit just different colors. Very slightly different colors. And then we're going to put the mic on the top on each one. Okay, so now then on my mix screen, we're going to put these ones all the way to the left and these ones all the way to the right. Okay, so I want the mic versions to be a little bit louder than all of the plug versions, so I'm going to group select all of the plug versions and bring them down a little bit, and then from there I'm going to take the center channel and bring it down a little bit so that the left and the right are a little bit, well, maybe. I might just from that point take all of them down. Yeah, so at this point I'm going to mix a little bit more. So everything is pretty well arranged over here. And now I'm going to mix on the beat a little bit. So I'm going to switch your view over to the mix screen. It's getting dark over here, guys. Night is coming. Try to brighten up my camera a little bit more. And I'm going to switch to my mix screen for you. Okay, so I'm noticing actually now that I'm looking at these, I didn't arrange my drums in order. So I've got my bass at the top. Switch back to your screen here to the edit screen. So I've got my bass at the top. Next thing that I want is the kick. And then I want the snare. And then I want the rim shot because that's also kind of like a snare. And then I'm going to do hi-hats. And then I'm going to do ride cymbal. And then crash cymbal, and then after those will be like my tambourines and whatnot. So this is tambourine, actually this is tambourine 1, and I can tell that because it plays more often than these ones do. These ones just come in like during the hook area, and so these will be tambourine 2. All right. So I'll switch it back to the mix screen. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start mixing just kind of left to right here. The bass isn't playing yet, so I'm not going to start there, but my kick is already going. Generally, I am going to add another compressor here that I'm going to use for a side chain. I'm going to do the same thing on my bass, and I want the kick drum to duck the bass down. So that's the reason I'm going to have that side chained. With the snare, I'm going to go ahead and add a reverb. I'm going to just use the stock reverb here. Maybe I should just still be showing you both screens at this point because I'm going to be going back and forth between the two different screens as we go here. It's going to be a little bit hard for you to see both screens very well, since they're going to be kind of zoomed out. But you're going to see me going back and forth between both of these screens here a little bit. Snare, I am going to also go ahead and get my EQ going. I'm going to switch this to a high pass, soften up that curve a little bit. And I already know I'm going to want to add a little bit of kind of body in the middle on the snare. So I'm going to boost it at about 650, and not very much, just like 1 decibel, and I'll modify that more later as I listen to it as we go. But I did want to go ahead and add a reverb onto the snare. I'm going to listen to... Okay, so once I start digging into mixing, I generally like to pull up the plugins that I have going on the master channel, because I kind of want to make sure that I'm not, or I kind of want to make sure that I'm sending a full signal into that channel. And as I'm going mixing, I'm going to keep kind of monitoring where I'm at on levels. So I kind of have a way where on my master plugins here, which is kind of just a mixture of analyzers, limiters, compressors, EQ, that I just run on the master channel. I kind of set them up to where I can see what's going on in order from left to right. So here's the compressor feeding into an EQ, and sometimes I will just change the format of this. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to kind of just look at my meters as I'm mixing. So I don't really have to move anything around much anymore at this point, or at least not until I start doing clip selection on vocals, because then I'm going to start just listening to bit by bit of each vocal, and I'm going to cut out and use the best parts. But I don't have to do much more for sorting, is what I'm saying. So I can go ahead and start bringing up my plugins and just looking at what I've got going on for levels. So a lot of times what I do is, because the kick drum and the bass are going to be the most powerful instruments, I want to look at my output levels for those first and set them up to where they're kind of right at the edge of the output volume that they can put out without clipping. And then I'll bring everything else up to level beneath those. Because if you start mixing, vocals and everything, and then you start bringing the kick in, you're like, dang, I still need the kick to be louder. Well, you can't make the kick any louder than that is, because now it's at the limit of how loud it can be. So you've got to now get everything else and pull it all down to where it sounds good. So I just start with the kick, right? The kick and the bass, they're going to be the loudest instruments, or the most powerful signal wise anyway. So I'll set those where they need to be, and I'll bring everything else up to it. So I've got some additional sounds going on in there. Not sure how that worked out. All right. It sounds like that came from the session, because I I said, all right, when I was done playing the guitar part. So I'm going to look at the project itself and see what I've got going for tambourine. So I do have 2 separate tambourines. You know what? I bet I've got another piece of audio hidden underneath here. Yep, there it is. In fact, that was the first guitar part that we were looking for earlier. So we had 2 pieces of audio hidden underneath there. So we should be good on that now. There we go. All right, I'm gonna turn a little bit more light on since it's getting dark here now, just so you can kind of see stuff. All right, so that shouldn't have made it too bright in here. Let's see. Yeah, so that helps a little bit. Let me maybe add a little bit more. Okay. That looks okay for me. Time to crack open another beer. And let's keep on moving. So again, I'm still just leaving it on this view. So you can kind of see me going back and forth between the mix screen and the edit screen. Even though, I guess when you're looking at it all together like this, it's kind of pretty small to see. But at the same time, it's hard to go just back and forth between each screen as I move back and forth, because at this point I'm kind of going back and forth a lot. So the only way to show you both screens is like this. So I'm going to stay in this view for now, and we're just going to keep on going. Looks like the stream is still going as far as yeah, looks like it's still going on actual on YouTube as well. So I guess we're okay so far. Maybe if I copy this link and I go to my not private YouTube, or my not private Facebook, but my public Facebook, and I can just share it that way. Yeah, okay, it looks like that worked to let me share to my public Facebook. This is the Facebook that I use as a public person, and my private account, I just have like personal friends and family that I know in real life, that type of stuff. So I don't really spam people on my private account. They already know who I am, you know. There's no need for me to spam anything there. But let's keep on moving. I don't know if welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community. Okay, that's cool. I don't know that this is working at all. Yep, don't know, because I've never live streamed before now. So that's where we are. All right, let's get back to mixing. So we're making some progress here. I've got the drums sounding pretty good so far, and then and all I've done really so far is I've done compression and EQ. I ran a side chain to the bass. That's really all I've done so far. I'm going to check my master levels real quick before I start working on instruments. Okay, so I think I've got the drums kind of where I want them, and the bass kind of where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and now start compressing and EQing the instruments. For any common instruments, like I've got a piano and piano, so both of these I'm going to end up setting the compression on one and just copying it over. Kind of the same thing for the other instruments as well. Once I get something set good for one, I copy it over to the other ones. So that's where we're going to move on to now. Okay, so sometimes for the cymbals and sometimes for the hi-hats, I throw a very light reverb on those as well, just to kind of soften them up a little bit. And so I think in this case I'm going to do that. Come here to where they start playing, put a marker. Oh, I guess I need to go back further than that. All right, so I've got some compression and EQ going on each of the instrument channels now, just to kind of get rid of any mud, add a little bit of sparkle, and I will also maybe throw a very light reverb on most of these as well. Probably not the pads, because I do have some pads in here, like the strings, the choir, and the vox. I'm not going to add reverb on those, but I will add a very light reverb on the piano and the guitar parts. So that reverb maybe is a bit much. So I think this piano instrument already has like some built-in reverb just on the instrument. So I don't want to overdo it too much. I'm turning the reverb a lot more down on it. I'm gonna leave the tail the length that it is right now though. And I'm gonna copy that over to the other piano. Sounds pretty good to me now. So, I real quick want to figure out the key signature. I know we used a capo when we were recording it, so I don't think it's actually, would that be G, so maybe G sharp major. I'm going to have to figure it out. And the guitar is, of course, way out of tune. When we went to the studio, I actually was carrying this on my, it was strapped up to me while I was riding to the studio on my motorcycle. So I'm not surprised at all that it's out of tune. Yeah, so G sharp major. And I'm going to use that knowledge to turn on some very light auto tune. It was G sharp major. I think he's tenor. Okay, so now even though I haven't done clip selection, meaning I haven't gone through each of the takes of audio to choose the best parts, because that does take some time. That actually takes a lot of time. So even though I haven't done that, I am going to go ahead and start mixing the vocals, meaning compression, EQ, and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because we recorded these all in the same session, right? So once the preamps were set, they didn't get changed. So all of these vocals are going to be about the same levels. Nothing really changed other than, you know, if he was moving around on the mic a little bit, which he was a little bit, but not much at all. Excuse me. So the levels should be uniform across all of these vocal takes. So even though I haven't done clip selection, I am going to go ahead and just start working on the compression and EQ specifically for the vocals for this, so that way I can get them sounding good as far as mixing goes. And then once I've got that done, I'll go ahead and start doing clip selection after that. That way it's just more bearable to listen to. It'll sound kind of polished already as I'm doing clip selection, so I can kind of hear the takes better, and they'll already kind of sound professional, even though in that process I'll then start choosing the best pieces of each one to become the final track. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing on the vocals. Just want to, don't know if something there. Oh my gosh, these girls on Facebook. Girls online in general, man. Oh my gosh, the amount of women that are willing to expose themselves. Somebody sent me a friend request. Not sure who that is. Appreciate it though. This is my public profile, so I will accept that. Thank you, Diana Marshall, whoever you are. I do appreciate you giving me a friend request. I will check your profile out later. For the stream, looks like it's still working right now. I can still see, like I said, there's a 20-second delay that I have it set to. Well, I didn't set it there, but when I was going in to set the stream up or to go live, just it shows you kind of all of the preset settings, and one of those was a 20-second delay. I think that might be so that way if something crazy happens live on the stream, you have like a second to like cut the feed real quick, you know? You can like cut that fucking feed real quick. So I think that's for a reason. And so I just didn't change it. So even though it looks like I'm seeing myself in an echo, not in live time, I do believe that the stream is still running. So that's great for me. I'm happy about that. Like I said 100 times already, this is my first time doing a live stream. We started recording when the stream first started ending, and the recording now is right at 1 hour and 8 minutes. So I hope that it's still going to keep working after that, because I did try recording something previously for over 1 hour, and it seemed like it failed right at 1 hour. So maybe I should stop and start again. Maybe. Yeah, let's do that real quick. So I'm going to end this one here for just a brief moment, and then I'm going to just restart right back up. And so I'll have to edit these in after the fact to just be one solid video. But I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick right now. I'm restarting the recording again right now. Yeah, and so stream kept going, recording saved properly, so we look like we're still good to go. So I'm going to continue. So we're getting real close now. We're getting real close. You guys can probably hear now if you reverse back on the stream or on the video, if you're watching this after the fact, and you listen to how it sounded when I first pressed play after we got all the files imported and whatnot. It probably sounded like absolute dog shit at that point. And now, at this point, it's already sounding pretty good. I am going to go ahead and, like I said, mix the vocals based on take 5, because that was the last one that we did, and so that was the one where he was already most relaxed, most kind of in the vibe, and he was kind of nailing it for the most part. And the previous ones, like the very first one, I don't know if there's anything that we can use from that one at all. Excuse me, but I'm still going to include it when I'm going through and listening to each little line. I'll listen to it line by line, even maybe word by word if I need to, and I'll choose the best little pieces of each one to make the final piece of audio. But the fifth one, as he did it, he'd already been through it 4 other times, start to finish. He'd already loosened up, and so the fifth one already kind of sounds the best just for that reason. So that's going to be the one that I'm going to use to start mixing the audio. And so let's go ahead and do that. So let's keep moving. All right. So there at the end, I heard it. This little spot here is me telling Young Red, all right, after I've finished doing my guitar part, and I can hear it on playback.
All right.
And then same thing on this one.
All right.
So I'm going to make sure I cut those out. I'm going to take these and add a volume pan on those clips just to fade them out smoothly at the end there. Sounds great. Sounds great. We're getting real close.
Here
We are getting real close. We're getting real close. Okay, so at this point, at the very beginning of the song, you do hear, I'm going to go ahead and delete all this excess stuff that we don't need now. At the very beginning of the song, you hear these cymbals, the ride cymbal come in. And I don't want that, actually. That was just there when we were in the recording session so that you could hear where it was going to start. But I don't want that. And because that's going away, in fact, you know what? Maybe I might leave 2 of them. Maybe I'm going to leave 2 of them. I'm going to zoom in on that and I'm going to fade it in real nice and soft. But now the rest of everything before that point, we don't actually need. We don't need any of this. All the way up to about there. Now I'm going to grab everything, the entire project, just everything in the project. I'm going to move it forward by a measure. And now what we should hear is just the little intro there. And we do still want to have some space before, like the same amount of space that I have before the measure, I want to have before the first note that we hear. So I'm going to say about here. And I'm going to grab one of these silent tracks or both of these silent tracks and I'm just going to move those to the marker. So that when we start from that point, we have a little bit of silence. Watch. Okay. So it didn't sound like I got 2 ride cymbals there. I was trying to get 2 ride cymbals. Yep, only got 1, so I cut off too much. So let's go back here. We're going to open this up a little bit more. Make sure I've still got my fade in right there. I think I cut my fade in off. Okay, so that's actually going to be our starting point. And so I want to get this marker. And I still want to give that little bit of silence beforehand. Boom. So that's about perfect right there. I'm going to bring these now up to that marker because the project starts where the audio starts. So I'm just adding a bit of silence before the music starts. And I might still... Maybe that fade in was not exactly how I wanted it. That was perfect right there. Okay, so we've got our start done. We've got everything mixed, and the final thing really to do right now is to do the clip selection from all of the vocals, and then I'll do a final mastering once I've done all of that. So I don't know how long we've been working now. I guess we started at 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. So 2.5 hours so far I've been working, just doing the final mix down on this. Which, of course, for original productions like this, I do get paid up front, as well as, of course, I get a percentage of the royalties that would be earned from it. The money that I get paid up front basically pays for what you're seeing me do right now. It pays for the time that I'm making the beat, It pays to actually license what I do make, and then it pays for the post-production, which is what I'm doing right now. So all of this time that I'm putting into this project right now, essentially, I've already been paid for it. And also at that, which I think I don't charge very much at all. I think what I charge up front is very reasonable, especially for how much time that goes into it. So we've already been here 2.5 hours, and I've still got clip selection to do. That's definitely going to take another hour. So we'll say 3.5 hours of post-production work, the time that I spent in the studio, as well as the time that I spent initially creating the composition. So for all of that together, what I charged up front is definitely a fair price. It's definitely even maybe less than what I would charge just for studio time for that same amount of work. But again, it's already been paid up front. So I'm good to go. I just want to finish the project and so we can get it released. Okay, so at this point, since most of the mixing is pretty well done and I'm going to start doing clip selection, I don't believe in doing work you don't need to do. So at this point, I'm going to delete all of these markers that I've already got placed here. And I'm going to just listen to it from the beginning. And when I hear something that I think maybe could be better, I'm going to just hit the M button and it's going to drop a marker right at that spot. I'm going to keep letting it play and I'm just going to drop markers wherever I hear something that seems like it could be better. And then I'll go back to those spots and I'll listen to the other takes that I have to choose from, and I'll see if any of those are better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the best one out of everything that I've got. And then if it still could be better, if it's still just not right, then I'll go in and I'll manually see what I can do. So maybe I'm going to manually pitch correct something, or maybe I'm going to time stretch something, or if the timing is not right, maybe he said a word late, I'm going to bring it forward just a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm going to do right now. But the very first thing is I'm going to just listen through and I'm going to drop markers where it goes. But for now, first I'm going to take a real quick restroom break again. Which, I mean, it's been 2 hours since I took a restroom break, so it's not like I'm just abusing the break system there, right? But I'm gonna just play the song for you while I go to the restroom, and I will do. I'm gonna select everything, and I'm gonna turn the loop on. And I'm going to let that play for you while I go take a quick restroom break. So that is sounding pretty good to me. So we've got pretty much everything done except for final clip selection. And I want to go ahead and just keep on trucking and push through to the end now. So now I'm going to let you know the last part here with us doing clip selection. And I better check the battery on my camera. So with my stream right now, the camera is actually coming from my cell phone. So technologia. My camera can be connected via my Wi-Fi network to my PC and stream as my camera. But it is actually my cell phone that I'm using for a webcam right now. So I don't want the battery to die on it. I haven't looked at the battery or where it's at. This app doesn't show me how much battery life my phone has left. I did have it fully charged when I started, but already that's been 2.5 hours ago. So it can't be good. So I am going to just plug it in, give it a little juice, and so it can keep running. Oh, maybe this is my battery life. Is that maybe it does show my battery life. And if that's my battery life, we're pushing it. We're at 12%. If that's my battery life, I don't know if that's what that's showing me right there or not. It does show me the Wi-Fi, and it shows me a 12%. But I don't know if that's my battery life or not. In any event, I'm going to plug it up so that we can keep going and that my camera feed doesn't die. I don't know if my camera feed is going to die when I actually plug it in. Could mess something up. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'd rather try and it fail at the risk of it working than for it to just cut out randomly without me knowing, and then I just won't even know that the feed has ended. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I'm going to play the song for you one more time while I do that. So now let's go ahead and I was able to plug up my phone, and it looks like it's charging, so we're good to go on that. Oh, OBS Studio disconnected, reconnection successful. So I don't know if the live is still going now after it does that. I think maybe it cuts out. Oh, looks like it's going good again. If I see my hands go up, then I think I'm good. Do I see hands? Boom, I see hands. So it looks like the live is still going. So we'll keep moving. I wish I had a better internet connection here, and maybe I'll look into seeing what I can do to improve on that. But I'm at the mercy of the situation, or just whatever I can do here. So now at this point, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to play the song through, and I'm just going to drop markers where things can be fixed. So let's do that. And while we do this, I'm going to actually mute my microphone so I can actually turn the volume up a little bit more. As you see, I'm not using headphones. So whatever I play through the speakers, the microphone is going to pick up too. I do have the microphone set up to where it mostly picks up what's in front of it, as opposed to sound from behind it or around it. It'll mostly pick up from what's in front of it to kind of help with that. But still, it's going to pick up some sound because the sound is in the room, right? But so for this portion here, since I'm kind of just going to be listening and not doing anything other than dropping markers, I'm just going to mute my microphone out and just let it play through. So we can just hear just and even you'll be able to just hear kind of the song without the feedback coming through the microphone and everything like that. You'll be able to kind of just hear the song the way it sounds for me. And so I'll be able to turn it up in here and listen closely. So I will be muting my mic now.
तिमी कथाकी पात्र हौ मेरो लागि तिमीलाई किन हो पत्याउने गाह्रो तिमी जुन हो कि तारा मेरो लागि तिम्रो मुहार हेरु हेरु लाग्यो तिम्रो बोली सुन्दा मनलाई लाग्छ निकै प्यारो अझै सुन्नु लाग्यो तिम्रो ओठ हेर्दा मलाई चुमचुमु लाग्यो त्यो स्पर्श पाउन निकै गाह्रो अब त मोहानी लाग्यो तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो मुहार हेर्दा त्यो बोली सुन्दा छुट्याउने गाह्रो म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल होइन तिम्रो मायाबाट बाँच्नै गाह्रो तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हो कि मलाई बिहानीमा
Okay, my mic was muted. I'm gonna just re-say what I said prior to that. So I did make some markers, as you can see. Now, I know that when I make those markers, I drop the marker after I hear something bad. So wherever those markers are, it's going to be the line before that I'm going to listen to and try to improve on. But while it ended, at the end, I love the way it kind of ends and simmers down, and then just the piano hits the last chord. But I want to also see what it sounds like if I let the guitar play through and then let the guitar and the piano both hit those last chords. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move these last guitar parts. I'm going to turn my grid on. I'm going to say set move by measure, and I'm going to move those to 1, 2, 3, 4 measures, and I'm going to add in one more run here of the guitar parts, and I want to see what that sounds like. I'm going to mute my mic again quick while I play that. Yeah, I did kind of like that. I'm gonna listen to it one more time. Okay, so I really did like it, but there's a part where when the piano comes down, it's going dun, 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 dun. And the guitar is dun, 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 dun. And so there's a couple of notes in there that are just maybe just barely off sync. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab these two piano tracks and I'm going to bring them down here by where the guitars are. I'm just going to highlight all of these now. And I'm going to zoom in on those parts. So I think it's right here. So let's play this. So dun, dun, right? So this note right here in between, I'm going to change my grid to where we're on, I believe, a quarter note. Yep, right there on the quarter note. So if we zoom in on that, I think we might see that these in-between notes are maybe not lined up just perfectly with those. And we can see it easily by this one. It's hard to tell on the other ones, but they're there. Because I'm playing the guitar the same way in all of them. So we can kind of see also, now that I've got these really zoomed in, we can kind of see where each of these starts, and we can see that this one, so you see this line that goes up and down, it follows my mouse when I move my mouse left to right. There's a vertical line that follows it. I can use that to see where things are lined up. So see, when I move to the start of this right here, I can see that these start later. All right, so here's the start of this one. There's the start of this one. So you see there's a gap between those two. And you can tell that by that vertical line that's moving back and forth. And so you can see here to here, there's a gap between there also. And so I look at the average, right? I look at what's the average. And I can see that all of these are kind of starting at the same place except for this one. This one is starting early. So this might be the culprit for what's off time here, even though they're all very close until you zoom in more, right? Same thing over here. You can see this one is either way late or this one is way early, but there's kind of an average going on here. And this one is early, that one's early, that one's late. So what I'm going to do, and just for this part, because for the rest of the song, it all just sounds natural. It sounds great. But on this part where it's quiet and the music has died down, and even the piano parts, look at those. They're not even lined up with each other. So there's a couple of ways I can address this. Either I can change the view to where I can stretch the audio and move the audio where I want it to be, or I could even clip something and move it where I want it to be. So we're gonna look at a couple different things here. So for the piano, since I noticed that these are off, I'm gonna look at the other ones. These ones are off too. And you can see how the one on the top is earlier than the ones on the bottom. But right here, it's right on time. Right here, the one on the top is a little bit later than the other one. And so see, when I'm making the beat and I'm in the other program making the beat, I don't quantize everything all the time because you want some things to sound natural. And a lot of times, perfect quantization is the word, doesn't sound natural. So some things I don't quantize. When I'm playing a piano part for something I'm producing, I learn the part and then I actually play the part and I record that, right? So I don't program, like I don't use my mouse to program notes. Like I learn the part and I play it and then I record that. So it's natural. And so sometimes these parts are not perfectly in sync when you zoom in. But in the natural sense, it sounds great. It sounds great when you're listening to it naturally. But if you zoom in, of course, you can find some flaws because I'm a human, right? And that's what makes music great, is because we're humans. And the natural flow of things is kind of what we like to hear. And you don't want perfect precision on everything. But when the music cuts out, like all the drums stop and everything like that, and you hear the piano and the guitar more pronounced, then you kind of want things a little bit tighter. So for these parts, I am going to do some fine correction. And so I'm going to start by chopping things where they need to be chopped. Which that one there, over here, we'll chop that right there. These, if I turn the grid on or off, see if I turn the grid off, that vertical line moves with my mouse. And then if I turn the grid on, it snaps to the closest whatever I have it set to. So right now I have it set to a quarter note. So you see it snaps to a quarter note. But so to chop stuff, I'm going to turn the grid off. I'm going to turn it on here to see where I'm at. And then I'm going to turn the grid off again and I'm going to chop right there. Okay, so these piano parts, I've now chopped them at the quarter note. this one was good already, kinda not. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the front parts of the notes with the grid. And then I'm going to take the second parts. I'm going to turn the snap off. Well, actually, I guess I could leave the snap on. And here's this function where I can stretch the piece of audio. And with the grid on, it's going to snap it to this quarter note. So now these two pieces are where they were in conjunction to each other, but now they're on the grid. And that's pro level stuff that I'm showing you right there. Okay, so let's just see what we got so far. I still have to do that for the guitar as well. Actually, just aligning those piano pieces fixed all of it. That fixed all of it. So I don't think I even need to do that to the guitar parts now. I'm going to take it a little further back and I'm going to hear it come into the part. Listen to the fade out. Fade out was perfect. So I guess I don't really need to do anything with the guitar parts there. Just time correcting those piano notes towards the end there was all I needed to do. Okay, so then let's move on. So I've got my markers set for the vocal spots, right? So now if I go to these markers, if I play the line right before it, probably I'm going to hear something that I think is not that great, right? So this first one, let's take it back. Where he comes in right there. So let's chop all of these. And let's listen to these instead. That one's good. That one's good. Let's listen to this next one. He kind of came in on that next note pretty hard on there, and you can even see the peak right there. So we're not going to do that one. It just sounds unnatural. That one was pretty good too, though. Okay, let's compare this one to that first one. You hear it? Da, da. Yeah, let's go back to this one. Okay, so let's we're gonna do these back and forth. So I'm gonna, well, I can just mute that clip and mute this clip, and so I can keep both of them unmuted. Maybe even this one is better than this one. I just feel like he's singing too hard on that one, even though he held the note perfectly. I feel like he's singing too hard on it. But I didn't like this other one either, though. So we're going to listen to these other ones. Okay, so probably at this point I can unmute all the rest of these, because now I'm going to start checking them out. And I'm just going to mute the ones that I don't want to hear anymore. So now I'm just muting by clip, right? Just to mute a clip, you hit K. And so I've got all of the channels unmuted, and I'm just going to mute the clips that I don't want to hear and leave one of them playing. That one was pretty good. That one was pretty good. Let's check out the other ones, though, because we want to hear. That one was pretty good too. Let's hear these two together. Pretty good, but I already know I don't like this one. Let's hear this one. Definitely not that one. In fact, I'll just delete that one. I know I don't like it. I think this one is the one. Alright, cool. So now let's hit these next lines. And first I'll do like a whole line at a time. Because I have a marker here as well. So, oh, but this marker was for the line before it, so probably that one. And I don't think I've got a marker going forward until later on. At the end, he kind of falls off. You see right there. So let's listen to those ones and see if we've got a better one. So again, I'm going to start just by clipping all of these where they start. And then let's start unmuting. Let's try this next one. Good. Let's keep listening. I like that one better though. It's softer and it kind of fits the vibe better. So let's see. listening back, I think even this first line, maybe we can try to find something better. You see, it's like that right here. So we're gonna see if there's something better than that. It's not bad, but if I can have better, I'll have better. That was better. That was better. But maybe that second part, I might keep the original though. We'll see what this one's looking like too though. We're gonna try better for that one too. Did he say something different there? He did say something different there. See, I don't have to know the language to know that there's something different being said there. And this one might be the one here. So we're going to keep this one and this one. Although these might not merge together very well, I'm going to do a fade out right there. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe just that K at the end. We're going to try to find something better. But we know we can't use this one. I'm going to delete that because he said something totally different there. Nope. Nope. That one wasn't bad. Let's hear from the first one. Maybe we're going to keep the first one, but we'll try bringing this one forward to time up with this one here, and we're going to listen to it again. Now that it's timed up different, I think I like this one better than the first one, so we're going to keep that. You see how there's like this blank spot in between all of these except for this one? I want to hear what that one sounds like.
लाई सजाई राखे तिमी माया जाल हौ कि माया हेरिराख्दा
I like all of that except for that ta at the very end. I feel like he cut it way too short. So we're going to try to just find a better at the end. And probably, let's try this one because it looks like he held that one longer.
हेरिराख्दा हेरिराखने
That one was good.
तिमी माया जाल हौ कि माया हेरिराख्दा हेरिराखने.
Okay, yep. I'm gonna take another quick restroom break. I can see where I stopped here by the way that it is. So I can see where I stopped. I'm gonna just play it for you guys one more time. I know that on the first half here we're gonna keep all of those, so I'm gonna just mute all of those out and keep this first one, and I'm gonna run to the restroom.
तिमी कथा कि पात्र हौ मेरो लागि तिमीलाई किन हो पत्याउने गाह्रो तिमी जुन हो कि तारा मेरो लागि तिम्रो मुहार हेरु हेरु लाग्यो तिम्रो बोली सुन्दा मनलाई लाग्छ निकै प्यारो अझै सुन्नु लाग्यो सुन्नु लाग्यो तिम्रो ओठ हेर्दा मलाई चुम्चुम्नु लाग्यो त्यो स्पर्श पाउन निकै गाह्रो. अब त तिम्रै बाटो कुरेर बसिरहे तिमी आउँछौ भनी मेरो मुटु तिमीलाई सजाइराखे तिमी माया जाल हौ कि माया हेरिराख्दा हेरिराखने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो मुहार हेर्दा त्यो बोली सुन्दा छुट्याउने
Okay, back in business. Recording is still going. Recording is just over an hour. Stream looks like it's still going. 2 hours and 10 minutes since the last cutoff. Let's check. The web looks like the stream is still going on YouTube as well. So I think we're good so far. Let's see, is that spam? I think that's spam. All right, let's keep moving. So far, these are what we've chopped out, and we're just going to keep on moving.
अब त तिम्रै बाटो कुरेर बसिरहे तिमी आउँछौ भनी मेरो मुटु तिमीलाई सजाइराखे तिमी माया जाल हौ कि माया हेरिराख्दा हेरिराखने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हेरिराखने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी राख्दा हेरिराखने मोहनी हेर्दा हेरिराखने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो मुहार हेर्दा अनि मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी पनि मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हो हेरिराखने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हो हेरिराखने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हो कि खाने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हेरिराखने मोहनी लाग्यो तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो मुहार हेर्दा त्यो
Audio dropout. Doing too much all at once. All I have to do is press play again and it'll play. But I'm going to go ahead and take a second to cut all of these out because I know I'm going to want to listen to them individually.
लाग्यो तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो 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 मुहार हेर तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो मुहार तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो तिमी परी हो कि देवी त्यो मुहार हेर्दा त्यो मुहार हेर्दा त्यो मुहार हेर्दा त्यो बोली त्यो मुहार हेर्दा त्यो बोली सुन्दा त्यो बोली मुहार हेर्दा त्यो बोली सुन्दा त्यो मुहार हेर्दा 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 त्यो बोली सुन्दा त्यो बोली सुन्दा छुट्याउने त्यो बोली सुन्दा त्यो बोली सुन्दा त्यो मुहार हेर्दा छुट्याउने गाह्रो म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल होइन तिम्रो त्यो बोली सुन्दा छुट्याउने त्यो बोली सुन्दा छुट्याउने बोली सुन्दा त्यो बोली सुन्दा छुट्याउने गाह्रो म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल होइन छुट्याउने गाह्रो म प्रेमी छुट्याउने गाह्रो म छुट्याउने गाह्रो म छुट्याउने गाह्रो म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल होइन तिम्रो माया म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल है म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल होइन तिम्रो म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै 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 म पागल म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म पागल होइन म प्रेमी तिम्रो कुनै म बाँच्नै गाह्रो तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य बाँच्नै गाह्रो बाँच्नै गाह्रो तिमी भेट्न गाह्रो तिमी सपना बाँच्नै गाह्रो बाँच्नै गाह्रो तिमी सपना बाँच्नै गाह्रो तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य तिमी सपना कि तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा भेट्न पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा भेट्न मन लाग्यो दृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा भेट्न मन लाग्यो पात्र हौ कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि पात्र हौ कि मलाई पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा भेट्न पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानी मेरो लागि मलाई बिहान पात्र हौ कि मलाई पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहान पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहान पात्र हौ कि तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहान तिमी सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानी सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा भेट्न मन सपना कि अदृश्य पात्र हौ कि मलाई बिहानीमा
Oh, God damn it. I'm going everywhere now. We're getting real close, though, to the end. So I'm just zooming in on these parts again so I can see where they end. So I can chop those after the end. Because I believe I'm going to cut these parts out in the middle. Oh, lost it. I'd saved up pretty close to all of that time, though. All right, let me get it open back up. All right, so Cakewalk crashed on me. Luckily, I always save. I save quite often, which is something everybody should do. But I opened Cakewalk back up, and I proceeded to finish the project, but I stopped the stream to give myself a second to get Cakewalk back up and whatnot. So I stopped the stream and I stopped the recording. After I got Cakewalk back up, I started the recording again. I didn't start the stream again because it's just it takes too much time. I mean, a couple of minutes, but still, it takes more time than I wanted to spend to try to get the stream all back going again. But I did start the recording again to finish the rest of the project with where I was. And when it was all said and done, then I stopped the recording and OBS failed. So although I was recording the end there, I don't have the video from it. So just to end this video, the edited video that I'm going to be uploading as a completed project, I did just want to come back on again. And I didn't find out that the record failed until I started trying to edit the video and put them all together in one. But so for the sake of having the ending there, I am just going to open up Cakewalk again, show you what I did just to finish it off. And where we crashed, we were already almost at the very end, so there was very little that got missed. So this should be pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and share my edit screen. So all that basically happened after that is I finished doing the clip selection with the clips of audio that I have here, which now you can see they're all grayed out. I've already muted them all out. After I had all of the clips selected that I liked, I rendered them together into one piece of audio, which is this one. And then after that, I applied the Waves Tuner Mono, which this, you let it play and it scans the audio as it plays. And this is basically pitch correction, but less of a automatic pitch correction. It does do it automatically based on the settings that you have when you start the scan. But then you can go through and manually move stuff around. So I did that, got all the way through that, manually fixed any parts that needed to be manually fixed. And then that in combination with the real-time tuner, then essentially you've kind of got a finished product. But then what I wanted to do after that is I wanted to make some little special parts out of that final product. I wanted to take little clips of audio and then have like some echoes going on certain parts. So to do that, once I was done with all the tuning and everything on this clip of audio that I created here, then I duplicated it. I duplicated the entire track with the clip of audio, and I rendered all of that to the clip of audio. So that way I still have this original here with the Waves tuner on it here, the manual tuner. So that way if anything else needed to be fixed again, I can go in again. Basically, so I have a version of the clip of audio that doesn't have the tuning applied to it. So if I turned this off, then all of these are still just the natural singing the way he sang it without tuning. So I can still have that without having to go bit by bit and pick them all again from the original clips of audio. So I did duplicate all of this, and this was the new piece of audio, and then I rendered the effects. I rendered the tuning to this piece of audio. And then from this piece of audio, then I went ahead and got my little clips, and I from there started making these little pieces. Like this is just an echo. And over here, same thing. These are basically just little samples that I take from the original piece of audio. As to where this main piece of audio now here, it has the tuning applied to it.
तिमी माया जाल हौ कि माया हेरिराख्दा हेरिराखने मोहानी लाग्यो.
And also, I was thinking about it, and probably one thing that I could do to make it easier to go back and forth between the screens and still be able to have the screen large enough that you can kind of see what's going on is I can just have both of these windows on one monitor and then just tab back and forth between the edit screen and the the mix screen. I don't know if that's actually going to work because it doesn't look like it is going to work actually now that I'm trying to do that. Nope, it just goes back and forth between this program and OBS. So I guess that's not going to work either. Okay, so in any event, I'll just go back to the mix screen when I need to do that for you. But in any event, that's what I did at the end there after Cakewalk crashed, which every program does crash. It's going to happen eventually when you're doing a lot of heavy editing and time stretching of clips and stuff like that. And I'm real hard on it. Like I've got a bunch of tracks of audio going. I've got a bunch of plugins running all at the same time. And I'm stretching and squeezing audio clips and just kind of being real hard on it. I do have a pretty fast processor, really fast hard drive and whatnot, so usually it's pretty stable, but once in a while it still is going to crash when I start doing all of that. So in any event, that's what I did at the end after the stream ended and after the recording ended. And unfortunately it didn't get captured. So I just wanted to talk about what I did to finish off the track there. And now I'm going to just go ahead and play the track for you so you can hear kind of the final product there. I did actually already send this over to the client last night after I finished with everything. And he did already email me back with some changes that he wants to make, which again might result in us going and doing another session, which that's kind of what it looks like it might be. There's going to be some parts he wants to re-record because of the tuning that had to happen for some of his vocals that were just the notes weren't close enough. So you do have to use some tuning for it. One thing I am going to do though is on the auto tuner, which this is the Waves tuner. I'm going to just turn down the speed a little bit on it. Just to make it sound a little bit more natural, and then I'm going to send it to him again, but still I think he might just want to re-record some of the parts where you can just tell that it got corrected. But in any event, here is the final song for you. I'll just play this for you. I'll mute my mic out and just let you listen to this. All right, so that was everything for that project. So as you can see, it does take a good amount of time to do final mixing and mastering. It's easy to think that mixing happens fast, like, you know, you're just twisting some knobs, but you're twisting knobs on every single piece of audio, you know. And in this case, there wasn't a whole lot of gain staging that I had to do on the vocals because we did an excellent job recording the vocals from the beginning. But a lot of times when you've got a mix, you've got somebody who's recording at home and they're turning into the mic, then they're turning away from the mic, and then they're back in the mic, and they're turning away from the mic. And, you know, you can hear that just from me doing that, you know. And so when somebody's recording themselves at home and they're not experienced enough to know to keep facing just straight into the mic, you get a lot of loud parts, a lot of quiet parts. And so you have to go through and manually gain stage all of that word by word sometimes before you can even start using a compressor or an EQ or anything like that, you know. So just depending on what the files are looking like that you get, you can spend just an hour just doing that before you even start mixing, you know. So mixing does take time. It's not something that you just you know, shake a wand at and magically it all happens there. It does take some time. So I think altogether for this, we've spent about 4 hours doing the mix on it. And then also that's including doing the clip selection and the manual tuning of any of the notes that were too far off, and just everything from start to finish just for the mix today. You kind of saw all of it happen in real time. And roughly it was about 4 hours. So that doesn't include the time that went into making the beat as well, right? So making the beat was its own whole other session. That's a creative session, you know. So generally these projects do take up quite a bit of time to get done. So when you're asking for somebody to mix your project, it's kind of unrealistic to think that it's going to get done in an hour. Now you can, even with myself, you can book an hour of mixing, but just not a lot's going to happen in that 1 hour, and you're still going to have to pay for that 1 hour, and not a lot comes of it. I would generally say that if you want just a really good mix, you're going to be looking at like 4 hours worth of time that you should probably put into it. And that's because there wasn't even a whole lot of automation done on this mix. Again, it didn't really need it too much because just it was all done properly on the front end. But if there's automation that's needed, then easily you're going to need another hour, maybe another 2 hours to do automation. And so, you know, mixing can cost you a good amount of money. A lot of times when people come to the studio, they're just booking 1 hour, right? And so a lot of times those 1 hour sessions, they don't sound as professional as they could either, you know, because generally people are just booking 1 hour and that's all they've got the money for, which, I mean, I don't say that to say that you shouldn't do it. If you've only got money for 1 hour, then that's what you've got, you know, and just book the hour. And usually you're going to get a lot better sound working with a professional in 1 hour than you would with somebody just, you know, a DIYer who spent a month on it, and then still it's just going to not sound good. So it's still worth it for you to book 1 hour and come record. And then kind of the process then is that as soon as you start laying vocals, I can start mixing on your vocals. And the faster you can lay down your vocals, the more time we'll have for mixing. So the best thing to do before you record is to rehearse, in which all that means is practice, right? You should have already sang your song or rapped your rap, whatever it is, 100 times before you get to the studio to spit it. When you come to the studio, you're at the place where you're making the official recording of a song. You shouldn't go into the studio still needing work. You know what I mean? Like still needing to get some parts right. Like if you're in the studio and you get to a part and you have to like look back at your lyrics and figure out how you said something, you didn't rehearse enough. You should have already rehearsed that song 100 times before you came to record it at the studio. Because then if you've only got 1 hour on your hands, the first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be spent just on getting your beat uploaded and getting everything ready for you, getting your mic set up, doing the level check for your voice, because maybe your voice is louder than the last person that recorded, and so we've got to dial it in for your voice. Or maybe your voice is quieter than the last person who was in, right? So with each person that comes in, we're going to have to do level checks, and that doesn't mean just make sure that there's a signal. It means that I've got to set the dials, the input gain and the gates and whatnot. I've got to set that to your specific voice before we even start recording, right? And so the first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be just spent on setup. So we're already down to 50 minutes now, right? And then the last 10 minutes is going to be rendering everything down, getting it copied to your disk, or uploading it to Dropbox and emailing it to you. All of that has to happen within the last few minutes of your hour, because at the start of that next hour, somebody else is coming in and starting, right? So you've got to be out the door at the end of the hour. You're not coming out of the booth at the end of that hour. You're walking out of the studio at the end of that hour, right? So those last few minutes before the hour ends is going to be spent rendering files, emailing them, or copying them to your disk or whatever. So now we're down to 40 minutes. We've got 40 minutes of studio time within your hour. And if you're in the booth that entire 40 minutes, then where's the time to do final mixing and mastering, right? So now the strategy then is that as soon as you start singing or rapping, whatever it is that you're doing, as soon as you do one take, and then I play it back, because you're going to do the next take or whatever it is. Maybe you did a line and now you've got another line you've got to do. Once I start playing back anything that you've done, now I've got something to start mixing on. So the faster you can do your vocals, the more time we have to mix it. Theoretically, you shouldn't be in the booth for more than 20 minutes of your session time. You should already know your words, right? You should be able to go in there and sing your verses through. Then I'm going to tell you, all right, let's hit these highlights. We do corrections and all of that. All of your vocal parts should be done within 20 minutes. For one song, a song is 3 minutes long. There's no reason why you should have to be cutting vocals for longer than 20 minutes, other than just you weren't prepared, you didn't rehearse, right? So that's kind of the deal on it. So we can do a lot in 1 hour, but with a session like this, or just with any mix, I'm not mixing while you're recording. That hour is spent with me uploading files, getting your stuff lined up. A lot of times people, the files that they send with their vocals, they've got like 10 different tracks of audio for the vocals, and you've got to figure out which ones are the right ones, which ones weren't supposed to be there, stuff like that. So it takes time, and not a lot can get done in 1 hour of just mixing. So that's kind of the way it works out for mixing, just doing mix jobs. So in this case, you kind of saw an entire mix process from start to finish, everything that I went through, uploading the files, organizing the files, and of course, like you saw, we were almost already an hour in on the stream before I even started pressing play and listening to stuff, so just getting the files imported, getting everything labeled so I know which channel is which when I'm mixing. All of that takes time. It doesn't just magically happen at the start of the session. You don't, the first minute of the mix session, you're not mixing. The first 30 minutes probably you're getting files imported and labeled and stuff like that. So you're already down a half an hour, and then same thing is like a recording session. Those last few minutes are going to be rendering the files, getting them sent over and all of that stuff. So if it took 30 minutes to get everything set up, just like labeling the channels and everything like that, then there's only really 20 minutes of mix time if you're only, paying for 1 hour of mixing. That's not a lot. There's not a lot that can get done in that amount of time realistically. So that's kind of what it is. You saw this whole thing from start to finish. It was roughly about 4 hours of work that went into it to get it here. And that's not including any automation. So this is just a static mix. It's what we call a static mix. It's where you set the mix somewhere and then everything just stays there for the duration of the song. Automation means that you might have points in the song where you automate the faders to turn up on certain parts, or a certain instrument you want to be loud louder at one part of the song and comes up and comes down, you have to automate that to happen, right? So you program it. Automation just means programming. So you're programming that, on this moment of the song, this fader turns up by 6 decibels, and then after so much time, it turns back down to the normal level. You have to program that to happen. That's automation. So just doing automation easily can add another hour worth of time to it. So that's kind of the reality of mixing. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, and I will be doing more mixing on the live stream, as well as some of them I'll just record and then I'll upload them without live streaming. So we'll catch you guys next time, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.